It has been a while since we've done one of these because there hasn't been any overt signs that there's anything going wrong at the Rekieta household. I've always maintained that there was something shady going on behind the scenes. We had situations like Sonny the pug dying and, all the fallout from the steel toe thing. But it's been a couple of years, I think, since Rekieta's really acted out or done anything ridiculous. He's trying to keep his nose clean. He's trying to stay out of trouble. He's not openly doing drugs or drinking, at least not from what I've seen, but it very much seems as if this individual is putting himself and others at risk once again. So for those of you who aren't aware what's going on or what this guy's history with criminal behavior is like, this is someone who regularly drives around in his Mustang, speeding, causing problems for local police. This is someone who's known to drive recklessly. He's from Minnesota, the Ford Mustang GT 500 or whatever it is. It's not made for snowy conditions. Okay. He is known for being reckless. He's known for not caring about himself or the people around him. And it's just like, he has this weird, indignant way, this mindset of like how he should be able to do whatever he wants. Okay. I guarantee you this happened because he was reckless, because he wasn't careful. And it led to a situation in which his car, the vehicle he was driving, ran into like some sort of construction vehicle. And if you don't know, that is very, very, very dangerous. My assumption, my belief is that everybody involved was very lucky not to have been killed instantly. But the fact that they came this close and that they had this close of a call in regard to this, it really drives home something I've been saying for a long time. I've never stopped saying this, but Nick Rekieta is indeed a menace to his family and the people around him, his local communities, even other YouTubers, I think, have this tendency to cross him the wrong way, right? This is someone who is downright dangerous and really does need to be dealt with. He is someone that should be in prison, and he would have gone to prison if he wasn't a billionaire Nepo baby. It's just the reality of it. Half the things he's done would have sent anybody else to prison, essentially, but he was simply able to spend his way out of it. Rekieta is a man-child. He refuses to take responsibility for anything, and you just know he's just gonna blow this off and act like it's not a big deal and say it was an accident when I think it's very clear, going by what we know, that it was entirely his fault. Tweeting 8 minutes before the accident, essentially. And the fact of the matter is, we're at the stage now where things like this can happen in his county, and we instantly know it's him. Okay? It's whenever something goes down in Candiotto County, it's always Nick Rekieta. It's a complete joke. It's a train wreck. And I don't understand, why there isn't a more active community of people trying to go after this guy. Cause I've seen so many people try to ruin Darkside Phil or Low Tier God or relatively innocuous people. Rekieta is so much worse than I would argue 90% of locals. I can't think of anybody who is objectively a more disgusting person than Nick Rekieta. Objectively. His kind of degeneracy and evil really knows no bounds. And in fact, that's kind of the only reason he burned out as a locale, is that at a certain point, you couldn't do worse than what he was doing. Okay. It's so far beyond what people normally see in this sphere. I think because Rekieta has the money and the ability to just stay out of jail and keep himself relevant, or at least he was able to. For a long time, people were enabling him because of just how much this guy was able to enable their careers or defend their positions. Like we have that infamous like Kiwi Farm situation, right? In which Kiwi Farms spent years defending Nick from the allegations that myself and other people were putting out about how he was a degenerate and how he was like just completely out of touch with like not only like his legal practice, which anybody who's studied law knows he couldn't possibly be a good, competent, hardworking lawyer. Like it kind of goes beyond that. Like they bent over backwards to make excuses for this guy for years, essentially. And when the dam broke, when the bubble burst, like when the Baldo broke, it just resulted in this situation where like, once everybody knew, like it just kind of like petered out. And like, I feel like that's kind of a shame, honestly, because like every time I see a Rekieta clip, every time I see him go after, someone like Sean or Kino Casino or like Josh Moon, like what you get is the ramblings of a delusional 40-year-old libertarian. Okay. What you get is like the delusional, neurotic, like hot takes of like this rich kid who was never told no. And that really is like demonstrating, I think, how he doesn't really respect the rights of other people, like he doesn't really value other people's lives. He doesn't really put much stock in like other people's opinions or like care about their safety at all, especially if they're his kids. And this is like the thing I'm having a problem with. And the thing that like I'm very, very terrified of and have been for years, like those kids are in genuine danger. And like, I don't know if people have like emphasized this enough because you keep seeing this happen. Okay. In the community, like, oh, he gave his daughter cocaine, that's bad, but like, it's going to get worse. It is just like the reality of it. And that's always been the reality of it. And here we are beginning to see, I think, things getting worse. Like they didn't stop. All that happened was that like the law got involved for a little bit and he had to rein himself in a little bit to stay out of jail and to do community service. And like, he wasn't streaming as much. And like, I think he had to get rid of all of his alcohol and all of his drugs. Like he had to like move away from what he was doing. And he deeply resents that. Like he's either already fantasizing about going back to the way things were before, or he's already done it and he's just kind of like pretending otherwise, essentially. Like we are, I think, eventually going to get an idea of what Nick Rekieta has been doing for the past 2 years, ever since like the steel toe breakup and like the arrest and all that. Like eventually we are going to see like people come out about this and start like acknowledging some of the behind the scenes things that like we don't know about. Like I don't know if someone in his family is going to come forward and do it. I don't know if like, we're going to have some big revelation. I don't know if the law is going to get involved. I don't know if people are going to like get a hold of like the police cam footage. Like again, it's going to happen eventually. We're going to get a pretty good idea. And I feel like what we're going to see is going to be far worse than we could possibly imagine. And it feels like with this happening, we are going to see like things spiral out of control very, very quickly. I cannot imagine that there is not going to be serious repercussions for this.